Good morning, this is Trisha with Easy Emini Trade, and I want to go over a couple things from Monday and Tuesday. And a reminder that the videos are not meant to be a trading log. They are meant to help with different things that people have questions on. So based on the emails that I get, that's usually how I determine what kind of video I'm going to make. So that's why I don't make them every day, but you can check out the trade records at the end of every month on the website. So just wanted to point that out. And also an upcoming webinar is going to be on Thursday, March 25th at 8 p.m. I try to do one a month in the evening for the people who aren't able to check us out during the day. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the website as well, and that's www.easyemintrade.com. So I always talk about the importance of knowing where your support and resistance are. On our charts, we have an indicator that will automatically plot our previous day's high, low, and close. So those are areas that I'm always interested in a 50% fib retracement, as well as I will mark up my charts with previous price support and resistance based on previous price action by looking at a daily chart or 60-minute chart. And doesn't mean that we can't take something in those areas. It's just knowing that it's there and you might stall. So it's just helpful in knowing where price has a possibility of going to, and where you might want to take some profits. So with that said, this is Monday. This is the ES on a 1 minute, and this is the NQ on a 1 minute. And I am willing to take something in the first. Really, it's got to happen in the first 3 minutes for me to ignore all areas of support and resistance. So on Monday, we did get a setup after the opening bar, and we took it, and we weren't looking for a lot. Basically, we were just looking for a point because of this area here, even knowing that the previous day's low was here. So our first target, instead of being 2, was 1, and then move the stop to the entry, and then of course stopped out at the entry here. So wound up with small little profit on that. And I want you to notice that on the ES, you never had a setup at the open. So once again, you get something on the NQ that you could take, where on the ES you don't have anything. And this was a setup. This was at, what time was this? 9:45. So we get in at 9:46 approximately. Close outside the channel. Indicator is in line to take it. And so we take it, expecting hopefully that we can get up to the previous day's close. And it's there, it's there, how much room you have to there. And so you might want to again take your profit a little less, take 1 off the table, move your stop to your entry, and then if it keeps on going, then great, then you're already in. And you also had the setup on the ES as well, so your choice would have been either one would have worked. We took it on the NQ, and I believe it's set up at the exact same time. Actually, it was a minute later on the ES, so we wouldn't have been taking that because we were already in on the NQ. And this was in the afternoon on Monday, and this is just before lunch on Monday, and it was at 11:07. And you had a setup occurring on both the ES and the NQ. NQ here, ES here. And I was so busy deciding which one to take that I missed both of them. And so that was that was a little maddening. But what I was able to do was, when I pulled back to the channel, I was able to place an order under the low of this bar here and got in. So, I didn't make obviously what I could have made if I got in here, but it still worked out just fine. On the ES, if you missed your entry here, you could have waited till it pulled back to the channel and entered in on this bar here. So either way, you did have another opportunity to get in, and both worked out nicely. So I was glad to at least have another opportunity. But I was so busy deciding which one to take that it just happened so quickly, and nothing that I could do about that. But a lot of people in the room were able to get it regardless. So that's always nice that everybody's kind of figuring it out for themselves. And, in the afternoon, it was really quiet, so, not anything that I'm interested in doing. Later in the day, you did get, this little move at the end of the day, and it wasn't so little, but here the volume was very, very light on both the NQ and the S&P. So, nothing that I'm interested in doing here. If this is just too light, it would have worked. Obviously, you can see. And then if somebody were willing to take something at the end of the day, they could have taken it above the previous day's low here when you got closed outside the channel. So again, just completely up to you what you're willing to do and what time you're willing to trade. And this is Tuesday, and again, I did not trade. I wasn't feeling well, so the room wasn't open, but I thought I would point it out regardless. You did have a setup here, and this was at, again, NQ, and this was at 934. And you got closed outside the channel here, but you have the fib retracement 50% right below you, and I usually pay attention to that and wait for a close below it. So you get it here, and you get filled likely on the very next bar, and you have to sweat this out a little bit, but you never do get stopped out. Your stop holds by a quarter, and then obviously it goes on to trade down to the close of the previous day. On the ES, basically the same thing. I think it probably would have happened a little bit later. Yeah, you would have gotten in actually much later, but you get closed below the 50%, and again, your target would be the close from the previous day. Not a lot of room on the ES down to the close of the previous day, so likely not something that you would want to take. Not a lot of room for profit there. And of course it was FOMC day, so everything's typically pretty quiet leading up to that. If you're willing to trade in the morning, nothing wrong with that. Here you could have had an entry on the NQ, and this was at what time? 10:56. Or you could have got in here. Well, actually, you couldn't have gotten here at 55 because our indicator's not in line till the close of this bar here. So if you got in above here, your stop still would have held by a quarter, so you would have gotten basically 2 points out of it. On the ES, you could have gotten in here. And again, your target would be this area above you. So you know that going in. And then, that's really it. It was really quiet. It looks like even around the FOMC, you did have a swing higher, swing lower, but it looked like it appeared after the fact. I'm not sure because I was not trading, as I mentioned, but this is at 212, so I don't know why it didn't move sooner, or was the announcement late? I don't know because like I said, I wasn't here. But up to you if you wanted to take something here. That I'm typically going to wait till things quiet down a little bit after the FOMC announcement, and so this wouldn't have been anything that I would have been interested in. Maybe here when it gets closer to 218, 220 time frame, but it's hard to say because I'm not looking at it real time. So, but that's really about all that you would have done yesterday. A pretty quiet day overall, and that's pretty typical for FOMC day. So if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to answer it. And you can check out the setups at www.easyminitrade.com.